One. Hi there, this is Sandra with the Mortgage Center. Thanks so much for joining us today. We are offering a new series of interviews, and this is actually the first one we're doing. And we've got an excellent panel discussion today. And the title of this series is The New Normal, Interviews with Thought Leaders on Housing and Local Emerging Trends. So we've got some really great people on our panel discussion today. Irene Szabo, she's with, these are all real estate agents. So for those people who are interested in real estate, or if you're thinking about buying and selling in the next like 6 months to a year, you want to pay attention to these people. So again, we've got Irene Szabo. Irene, you're with at Home Group Realty. Did I get that right? Yeah.
You did.
And then we've got Mike Von Den, and he's with Trillium West. And then we have Gia Lucchetta with Royal LePage Royal City Realty. So thanks so much for joining us. So we're going to just do a panel discussion, and I'm going to throw out the first question. Should I still put my house on the market if I want to sell within this sort of pandemic? I'm going to turn things over to you, Irene. What's your opinion on that?
All right. So I believe that realtors have found a way to show homes safely now. We have a number of protocols put into place.
Okay.
So if you do want to put your house on the market, you no longer have to worry about whether we can keep you safe. The second thing is the market has stayed steady. At the beginning of this, we really didn't know what the market was going to do. So the market stayed steady. And the market under 600,000 actually has been quite strong. So certainly if you have a home under $600,000 and you choose to put it on the market right now, I don't think you really have to worry about it. The higher priced market is slower at this point in time. Some people do need to put their house on the market for different reasons, and if they do, then it's just a matter of doing it safely and correctly. So I say yes.
Mike or Gia, would you like to add anything, or do you have any sort of different opinion about that?
I can. I don't really have a different opinion per se. I think all I would add to it is, for myself, what I've noticed is. To me, it's a balance of a safety versus your financial investment of your home, and I think it's different and pertains to people in different ways. So there might be one family I speak to, and honestly, after speaking to them and their motives for when they need to sell or if they want to sell, my answer to them might be different than someone else who, for example, may have a vacant home or has somewhere else to go during the time that they're selling the home, Irene is exactly right that all of us have really great systems in place now to still promote, market a home and sell it. But I still think the base, the most important thing comes from having that discussion with clients on an individual basis on what's safest for them first, and then if they understand all the information and understand what's going on in our market, the way we can serve them, then yes, if they feel comfortable with that information, selling the home. I think then that's a good secondary thing to look at. But the first is the safety and what their comfort level is, where everyone's different. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some interesting, that's great advice. Now, Gia, I know you have just celebrated your 30th year in real estate.
32nd.
32nd. So you've got some amazing, what's that?
I started when I was 2.
Right, yeah.
Good. Yeah, wonderful. Gia, what do you have anything to add on that? Because you've got the longest tenure here in real estate, and that your advice goes a long way. Should I put my house on the market if I want to sell it?
I'm going to echo a lot of what both Irene and Mike have said. I think though that it really does depend on your personal circumstance and really what you're most comfortable with. For me and my practice, I want to make sure that people are looked after, that they're going to be at a comfort level that works for them, because certainly this is an unprecedented time where safety is a real issue. So for some people, they're okay with it, having people come through the doors and touch things, which we're trying to avoid right now. And certainly, as Irene mentioned, there are protocols in place where you know, we have Lysol wipes and masks and gloves and making sure that doors are open and light switches are on. You know, for some homes, you know, if you can sell it when it's vacant, the deal that I did this year or this week, it was a vacant home, so it made it a little bit easier. Only buyers are being allowed in the house one at a time. It's fairly regimented in that, you know, there's usually a 30-minute window between showings. We just don't know how this virus is spreading, so maybe having, you know, those water droplets drop to the ground, you know, having that 30-minute window, maybe there's less time for exposure to. But I think bottom line is what's been echoed here is that I think it really depends on the individual and what they feel most comfortable with. But certainly, you know, someone's safety is paramount.
That's excellent. Thank you. So let's kind of change gears a little bit. So we just talked about those individuals who need to sell. What about like buyers? I don't know about you guys, but I have done more pre-approvals in the last like 6 months than I probably have in the last like 3 years. And so I know for my business, what we were expecting is all of those pre-approvals, especially, and I'm focused now on first-time home buyers and also maybe pre-approvals for any purchase, I guess. We were expecting a lot of those people to purchase homes now in the spring. Obviously, some of them, their financial predicament has changed because of job loss, or maybe their job is on pause until the pandemic's over. But I want to get some of your feedback on, you know, for a buyer or even a first-time home buyer, like, is now a good time to buy? Again, I want to kind of couch this with if they have good income stability, right? Because we obviously want to make sure that if you're buying a house, you can make those payments. So, Mike, maybe I can start things off with you. So the question again is, you know, should people be buying in this market, especially first-time home buyers?
Yeah. So number one, I mean, I think if you are working with a real estate agent that you trust and feel is putting the systems in place to protect you, so that may be either very much helping you virtually tour a home before you actually, whether or not you make the decision to physically go and see it before you do an offer, or you don't. But if you have someone who's really has good experience in terms of helping you that way and guiding you, then and you trust them, I think absolutely. I think that the other thing is that there are a lot of, we know that the house is on the market from sellers because of the situation we're in, that we know that everyone there has the right intentions, meaning, I'm not even sure I want to use the word necessarily a motivated seller, but certainly a seller with you know, intentions to sell their house, versus over the years, sometimes you may work with a buyer to view a house and then it feels like that seller is not cooperative or doesn't feel like you're on the same page. I would say almost anyone selling in this market, the majority, are absolutely interested in selling. So for a buyer, you know, if they're serious, then there's that plus that they likely have the advantage that they're working with motivated sellers, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Good feedback. Irene, I know you just sold a house to some first-time home buyers. Tell me a little bit more about what your opinion is on that.
Well, I'd agree with Mike. Now, just going back, it's a very case-by-case basis. I mean, I think all three of us have always operated in the best interest of our buyers. We just have extra things now that we need to concern ourselves with. So if I have a buyer, a first-time buyer who has both health stability, no health issues, and has income stability, our buying process is a lot different now. We need to exhaust all virtual tours, pictures, floor plans. I also ask people to do a drive-by of the neighborhood before we go. And it's very rare I would show more than one house to a client in a day. So it's quite a different process. It's almost like we're buying virtually first, and then just sealing the deal by going in and making sure that it looks like it's pictures, because sometimes a house doesn't look like it's pictures.
Pictures.
So yeah, I mean, if all those things are in place, all the boxes are checked, I don't see there being an issue helping a first-time buyer at this point in time.
Gia, I wanted to ask you a question about like getting a deal on a house, right? And I was just surprised because I don't know what you're finding, but before kind of COVID came along, we were seeing multiple offers on properties, especially kind of in that first-time home buyer range. What are you seeing now with some of this stuff, the COVID?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because, I mean, we often get people who say, I want to get myself a deal. And,
Yeah.
we're out there trying to do the best for our customers and trying to find them a deal. It's not always easy in this busy Guelph market, though. Leading into 2020, I predicted that we were on track to repeat another 2017. For those of you that don't know, 2017 was an extremely busy, record-breaking year, and then COVID hit. And what this has essentially done is it has taken buyers, a lot of buyers, I'd say the majority of buyers, off to the sidelines, because in times of trouble, I've been through my many recessions in the course of my career, and this isn't like a recession, but it's similar in some ways. But when difficult times come, buyers tend to sit back and wait because it's a time of uncertainty. So if you picture right now, we're in a marketplace where buyers are sitting and waiting, but then there's still that smaller segment of buyers who right now are going, you know what, I think I'm still in the game. If they're gainfully employed, they have that job security. I will say to you that I think right now it's a little bit of a gift window for those trying to break into this market, because here in Guelph, we have a massive demand for housing and we have a shortage of supply. And that demand basically is coming from the GTA. I don't think that market is going to slow down anytime soon. Now, we can talk about all kinds of things around pricing and what we're going to see. Royal LePage, which is one of the leading voices in real estate forecasts, they're predicting that, if we continue on this course until about the end of June, we're actually going to see a price increase of about 1% year over year by the end of 2020. But, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with this.
Yeah.
If we go a little bit longer, we may see, they're predicting that if we go through the summer with strict lockdown, then we're probably going to see a price decrease of 3% year over year. But right now, the market still is busy. There are still buyers out there. There's multiple offers still happening, which is really hard to believe, but it is. I think what you can say in the long, that's sort of a long-winded answer, but in a nutshell is that this is a window where buyers who maybe don't want to be in that crazy busy market, they have an opportunity to find themselves a bit of a deal before those buyers come rushing back when this pandemic is over. Yeah.
Yeah. No, interesting comment, Gia. Like I know all of you have experienced offers where there's people who have come from out of town, especially in the GTA. And with everybody, the title of this series is The New Normal. I'm just wondering if there's going to be even more pressure from the GTA, because I'm not sure if we're going to see as many people commuting. Right? Maybe they'll be moving to Guelph and working from home more frequently, and then maybe only having to commute into Toronto for work 1 or 2 times a week. So I think that's just going to kind of shift things as well. So before we wrap things up, well, actually, we're going to wrap things up. Can I have you guys just make one final comment? Just briefly, what's one piece of advice you'd give to somebody who was thinking about buying or selling in this transitional market? Can I put you on the spot first, Irene?
Sure. I think the one piece of advice that I would give is just be prepared for it to be different. I know if it's a first-time home buyer, they may not know what it was like before, but there's a lot more patience required and things are moving a lot slower right now. So I guess the advice would be is, you know, take it on a day-by-day basis and just be prepared that things might be a little slower perhaps than they had been in the past.
Great. Mike, can I turn things over to you now just for your final comment?
Yep. My piece of advice is probably mostly just what all three of us have been echoing throughout this whole conversation, but I think it's my biggest piece of advice would be to find a real estate agent that you trust. I think that's really paramount now. I mean, you should anyways, always, but I mean, I think no better time than now to have a real estate agent that you trust and feel has your best interests first. And then in addition to that, asking them what are they doing to ensure that if you're in a position where you start to view a home or go and view a home, you know, what does that look like and what systems are put in place to ensure that you're safe and that, you know, if you are going to see homes that you're doing it in a safe and responsible way and not just, yeah, sweet, let's get out and start seeing houses. I think that's, to me, that's the most important thing. Someone that you feel is going to be handling that appropriately, and then ensuring that when you go see a house, you feel comfortable that you're safe and doing it in a responsible way. That's
great. Gia, you've got the last word today.
That doesn't happen very often.
Good job.
Well, you know what? I think as an overall look at this place that we're all in together, I would say, you know, as far as buyers and sellers go, if you're thinking of investing money here in Guelph as a buyer, I think it's a really great opportunity to do that. I think long-term real estate owners, as we all are, I think we can rest assured knowing that this area is going to maintain its value. And despite going through these difficult times, we'll bounce back. We're going to go into a new norm, but we will continue on with our lives. And property values will maintain themselves here. Canadian real estate overall on the world stage is undervalued. And I feel that, you know, we always do hold our prices well. I think Guelph will do the same. And I say, don't worry. And if this isn't the right time for you to get into the market, there will be a time in the future, but do it when it's right for you. And just let's not worry. So the world will continue.
That's awesome. Good. Thank you. So that wraps up our panel discussion. You can check out our office at skipthebank.ca. And what I'll also do in the feed, you'll see I'll include Irene's information, Mike's information, and Gia's information. So you'll see their website and all of their contact information. And if you wanted to reach out to any one of them, I certainly would encourage you. And you can see that these are people that we know and trust. And you always want to work with someone, especially when you're making such a large purchase like a home or a rental property. So thanks so much for joining us. We're going to sign off now and stay tuned for the next series. Bye for now.
Sandra.
Okay, bye. Have a good day.
Bye.